All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a few more people that are just logging in right now, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. How are you over there today, Taylor?
I'm good. I just put my little one down for a nap. So looking over our content for today, I think we got some interesting content and even some new additions from our last week's class. So if we have any repeat attendees.
I know we had a great class this morning with mixing it up with MiRealSource, and so we had I think we had 66 this morning, or is it 56?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a big group this morning, and we've got quite a few people helping us out today. So first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Colleen DeLang. I have been a licensed realtor for 22 years. Makes me feel old when I say that. And I have also been on staff with MiRealSource now for over 7 years. And our goal today is really to walk you through working remotely from beginning to end, as far as virtual property showings, virtual open houses. How are we getting the word out about our properties? Obviously, we can't drive to those properties right now and host open houses, but we still can do it remotely. And so that's what we're going to show you how to do today. But I also want to introduce everybody else on the call who made this class possible. So I'm going to introduce you to Taylor.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taylor. I've been at MiRealSource almost six and a half years now. So you've probably seen me at some events or taken any of my photo or social media classes. And I will be tying a little bit of my photo information and social media skills to today's class for you guys that you can take away and hopefully apply here really quickly when you get with your current listings or when you get a new listing.
All right, and we also have Chris Van Bell on the call. Chris, can you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, Chris, again, some of you guys have probably been in some of my classes. I've been a realtor for a while also, not quite 22 years yet, but probably 10 or so.
Making me feel old.
Getting older every day, right? But that is about it.
And then we also have Lisa Harris on the line. Now, Lisa was having a little bit of technical difficulties with her audio, but can you hear us, Lisa?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. It's Lisa Harris. And actually, if you were in my real estate class, we just had a few minutes ago, I'm one of the trainers also, and also a real estate agent a little longer than Colleen. I hate to say, but it's been 30 years, so hopefully that doesn't tell too much about my age. And also been training with MiRealSource for going on 10 years now, so it's been a while. So hopefully I can help you out today with a few insight I have, and obviously Taylor and Colleen always do a great job. So I'm looking forward to this class.
Thank you, Lisa. I was a little muffled, but Lisa basically said she's been doing this 30 years. Most people know her. She's been teaching for forever. I know she's been on staff for 10 years with MiRealSource. But you know, it's really funny. I remember you telling me the story about 8 years ago, how it was going to be a 6-month teaching position, and somehow we have you 10 years later. So we're very lucky. So with that, we're going to
go, Lisa.
You sort of got pulled in and you just never got to leave. So
exactly.
We're also going to do some really fun things today. We're going to show you how to do a few new things that you probably haven't done before, and then we're going to give away some prizes to the first people who do it properly and invite us. So for the last couple of weeks, we've been teaching remote classes where you can do a complete transaction from beginning to end, all from your couch, how to everything from get new business to all the way through the closing of the business. So we've been doing a lot of that, and the success stories and the testimonial stories have just really been outstanding. We have gotten the nicest emails of, hey, I tried it. I was a little nervous, but it was easier than I even thought. And oh my gosh, I have 3 properties pending because I did exactly that. And so we love the testimonials. So we're gonna give you a challenge today at the end of our class today. If you do what we ask you to do and you invite us to it, there's going to be some really fun prizes. So with that, let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually turn my webcam off so you don't have to see my very fuzzy hair. Like everyone, I could really use a trip to my favorite stylist. Can you see my screen at this point, Taylor?
I'm not seeing your screen. I just see myself.
All right, let me try this
I might,
again.
maybe I
Okay.
can turn on the webcam too.
All right, can you see that? I did turn off my webcam. You should be able to see my screen. Can you see that now?
Yep, I see it now.
Fantastic. So I'm talking to a lot of agents right now, and they are saying things like, well, I guess I'll just sit here for 3 weeks, join a book club, and, how can we work remotely? Well, you can. As I mentioned, we have a whole class on how you can do a transaction from beginning to end. But I just want to take you on a quick tour. In the last 3 days, I'm going to go up here to my market monitor. In the last 3 days, there have been 591 new listings that have been added to the MLS. 248 of them, 248 listings in the last 3 days have undergone a price change. I went over, if you've never used our hot sheet before, you'll find it under search. I went over and I did a search for 1 day back. And 170 listings went pending over the last 1 day. So what I'm telling you is business still is getting done. Business is obviously having to be conducted remotely because we can't leave our homes. But the good news is that a lot of transactions are still being processed. Now, how these transactions are getting done is obviously a little bit more challenging, but we're going to show you some great tips and techniques today. Everything from using your seller to provide things like photos or video tour. We're going to show you some great new apps that you can use so that your seller can literally just send you that video tour. You can put it right into a YouTube link, and now you can put it into Paragon, and it can be syndicated to all these different places. And we're going to show you step by step how to do that today. But I am going to, now Lisa was experiencing a little bit of technical audio difficulty earlier. So Lisa recently, just in the last couple of days, had a transaction that she did since the government order was put into place where we're all sheltering in. And she was gracious enough to come on the call today and tell us a little bit about it. Lisa?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the situation I was in, I have buyers who have lost for contingent shelter, and we've lost multiple since then. So of course, the frustration of being able to get out there to look at houses, they have started contacting for sale by owners, and some of these for sale by owners are still showing homes, and they did see a house with a for sale by owner. They contacted me before, so we're not calling.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Lisa, I apologize.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
no voice.
Lisa, I
No
apologize.
voice? Okay.
Oh, I hear
I'll
you.
try the audio.
You sound like Charlie Brown parents.
Charlie Brown. Let me try to call. I'll try to call back here and I'll text you. Let me try on my phone, see if it goes through.
All right, we'll see if you were able to call back in when the audio is a little better. We would greatly appreciate hearing your story. If not, we're going to go ahead and move along. So basically, we're going to start off with success with your property sellers. So obviously, in the remote and paperless class, we've been showing you how to go out and get new business, how to work with the sellers. But Taylor's actually going to take you on a tour of what you need to get from the sellers, what you need to help them with. They've obviously not taken professional photography before. And now we're going to have to rely on them until this government order is lifted to provide things like tours, to provide things like photos. So Taylor's going to take us on a little tour of how to make it a little easier and some of the tools we put together for you so that you could do that.
Perfect. So I'm going to take over now. Give me 1 second. Where am I? There I am. All right, so you guys should be seeing my main screen here at Paragon.
Yeah, we sure can.
Okay, great. All right, so I think the first thing that people, the agents, need to move forward with their sellers is kind of building their confidence as well as your own in terms of photos and video tours, and that is really kind of coaching your sellers and what you'd need photos of, maybe some tips, some suggestions. And then as well as how to get those photos to you and those video tours to you. So I'm going to break down some sample photos, ways that you can really promote this property in the best possible way, and share those videos and tours and some kind of guidelines to work off of. You'll see that there's a handout section here on GoToWebinar. there's 2 handouts for you. One is a photo staging checklist PDF that you can download. This is something that will be really handy for you. We'll go over, as well as the virtual open houses that I'll be covering towards the end of class, with step-by-step directions on setting those up. But for coaching your sellers in terms of photos, I think they first and foremost need to know how to get the photos to you. And then we'll go into maybe some tips. So one option that we have here is Google Drive. I use Google Drive a lot. Google Drive is very easy. As long as you have a Google Gmail email and they have a Gmail email, you can easily go to drive.google.com and you can go ahead and you can upload a folder and add it 123 Main Street and upload those photos into that folder. So it's super easy. Just add a folder, 123 Main Street, create that folder. You'll see it start to load right there. Open that up, and now your seller can upload photos into this folder simply by going to upload a file, and they can upload all 30 photos that they take right there for you. Once those photos are uploaded, they can email that link to you for you to download those photos. So there's get a shareable link where they can just text that to you if you want, or they can hit share and they can invite you to this folder. So Google Drive is a really common platform that a lot of people use. I've used it for photography jobs. I've hired photographers and they've used it and sent me this link where I can then download the photos that I've had done. Google Drive is a really nice platform to use, really easy, user-friendly, and most people have a Gmail email. They just might not utilize Google Drive. Another thing that Colleen discovered today is called Axle. I was really surprised by this. Do you want to kind of explain how easy this was for you, Colleen, to use? And this is exactly what I saw when I got the link. I don't even have to have an account or an app or anything. I just got the link and now I can download it. And if I want to download the app or create an account, I can. But this video that she sent me, I can just download it without even having like a Drive account or a WhatsApp, which I'll be talking about next, which is one that I really like. But Colleen discovered this one recently.
Do you want me to, can I share it real quick? I'm thinking I can share my screen. I'm going to try this. It's a mobile app, so let's see if this works. You guys will be our first class to see if this does work. Can you see that phone screen there?
Yep.
Okay, terrific. So yeah, I found this app. I was looking for easy apps and I tried a couple of them. I tried the WeTransfer. I tried a couple of the sharing apps, but I was really impressed with this Axle one that I found. It's a free app. You can find it at the App Store or your Google Play Store. And basically what it allows you to do is it allows the homeowner to take a quick movie and it allows them to share it very easily. So they click on this little plus up here. And it says, would you like to take a photo or video? And so it automatically defaults to photo. So they can literally, as you can see, I'm sitting in front of my laptop right here. They could take a video of their living room, whatever they want, or they could switch over to video or photo. Here I'm doing a video. And then once they have that, they can just click the share button up at the top, which allows them to send it via message. You can see the little dog video that I sent Taylor earlier. It allows them to send it via message, via email, really, really simple. And what it does is they don't have to worry about space and compression of the video. What it does is it literally creates a link and then sends it to that person. So they're basically sending you that video tour in a link that you now can pull over. We're going to show you where to host that, and we're going to show you how you can actually put that right into Paragon. So I was really impressed with how easy. I sent one to Tracy on our staff. I sent one to Taylor and a couple other people, and everybody said super, super easy to open, super easy to navigate. Again, it's a nice free app. So if you haven't checked that one out, I definitely suggest checking out the Axle app. All right.
Yeah, we got a quick comment on that. It can be axle.org if you're on your laptop, and then you can go to your Play Store, or I'm not sure what Apple uses, Apple Store or whatever. to get that.
Perfect. Yep, you can go to the App Store and get it. And then, you might want to even make a little real estate folder, as you see I've done here, and just drag it right in there so everything's in one convenient place. But it was easier than most. I tried several of them, and so far I found that was the easiest. All right.
Yeah, I'm impressed with that because I use WhatsApp, which I'll go over in just a moment, but that was really cool that for me, I wasn't gonna, I use Drive and I use WhatsApp. So when she found Axel, she's like, let's just try this out. So to me, I was like, all right, one more account for me to create and sign up for. But no, it was really easy. She sent it to me through text. And I tried it on my phone. I just opened up the link. I was able to download this video. And then I also opened up the link on my Messenger app on my phone or on my computer here. And this is exactly what I see. I can download. I don't have to create anything. So it's really kind of skips that extra step for the seller. But depends on what you want to use. Some people are more comfortable with Google, or WhatsApp is actually owned by Facebook. So it just depends on what you use. So we're just giving you some options here, but I really like this, Colleen.
Hey ladies, how long will they store the photos and videos? We just had a question about that.
I haven't played with it that long. That was something I can actually email everybody after the class and let them know. I thought I read that there was a 2-year storage period, but I looked at quite a few of them. So just to be exact, let me look it back up and I will email people after our call.
And Google Drive allows you up to, here you go, 15 gigs of storage. It doesn't delete it after a certain amount of time, and you can always buy more storage too. WhatsApp is all based on your iCloud, for me at least. I'm not sure exactly how that works with an Android, but what I can do is I can either have these files that I get sent through WhatsApp downloaded right to my memory on my photos and videos on my phone, or I can just have them automatically delete after, I think I have it set to 60 days if I didn't take the time to download that video. So WhatsApp is really easy to use as well. You can use it on Android, iPhone, or even on your computer. I don't have it on my computer, which I'm sharing right now, but this is, a lot of people ask what I'm saying, or can you spell that? WhatsApp, owned by Facebook. And what I really like about WhatsApp is it's very similar to Google Drive in the terms of you can create a folder or a conversation group. And so you can download the app, sign in through Facebook or sign in through your email, whatever you're most comfortable with, and name that conversation with you and your seller. Invite your seller to the WhatsApp. He or she also has to download the WhatsApp. And then the photos and videos that they take, they can directly send it right from their phone right to your phone, which is really nice, because sometimes like Axel allows you to do that, but Drive, there is a Drive app as well, but I found that the Drive on your computer works, Google Drive works much better on a computer than it does on my phone, where WhatsApp is super user friendly on your phone. And you can just, your seller that does their tour, which we're going to talk about that, and their photos, they can just upload them right here. It goes directly to you, and then you can, every time you open that up, it downloads to your photos and on your phone. So there's no really plugging into your camera, or your camera to your computer, or your phone to your computer. It's just all right there, right in that account for you, and goes right into your photos. So that's the first step, is making sure that your sellers know how to get the video tour and the photos to you. The second step is making sure that you have a copyright document signed between you and your sellers. So you can find these copyright documents on MiRealSource.com under services, copyright docs. And what we have right here is the copyright agreement form. It's a one-page document, really easy to understand. Basically, it gives joint ownership of you and your seller of the photos. And this is important because the way the data is distributed throughout the industry, through broker, through franchise, through MLS, through syndication. You want to have that ownership. So this really short and sweet one-page document makes it really easy for the seller to understand. These are still their photos to do what they need to do with them, as well as yours, so that you are protected in any copyright infringement that they could come back and say that they didn't want you to use those photos in a certain way. You have the copyright and the ownership for those. So making sure they know how to get photos from A to B, and they're going to give you ownership of the photos and video. Tour is important. Video is covered in this copyright agreement. Like I said, you can find this on our website under copyright documents under services. You can also find it in Paragon under MLS Docs and in our homepage in Paragon. And it's also built into Instanet, which is really nice because you can just send that form over and they can digitally sign and you can add that to like their listing package. So I feel like most people probably do it that way, but you have easy access to it through our website as well and in Paragon. So since we've covered how to get the photos from A to B, let's go into coaching your sellers on taking photos and tours. So some tips that I have for you will be in a checklist, which we'll go over. But as an agent, it's really important for you guys to utilize the captions and descriptions feature more so than ever. I've always preached this in my photos classes, of course, but now it's very important. This is your selling feature. This is the descriptions that kind of help them imagine living there. So when you maintain your listing, you can upload 69 photos at a time, rearrange them in whatever order you'd like. I suggest, and this is something that you can kind of lay out for your seller as well, is whether they're doing the tour or the photos, take pictures how you experience coming into the house, whether you're choosing from the garage and it has a nice mud room like this home that I'm going to be showing you guys, or if it has a foyer or an entranceway, you choose whatever one that they want to be the starting point. Going through the home, how they would tour the house. Take 1 to 2 shots of each room, some close-up shots of certain features of the home that might be nice, like a backsplash, a sink, lighting fixtures, mantles, things like that. Same with a tour. They would do the same thing with a tour, walking through, pan the room, and then zoom into certain features of the home, like the fireplace, and get a little closer. So I'm going to show you guys this property with some photos real quick, give them an idea. So ideally, you're going to want that primary photo from them. One thing that I suggest is taking your primary photo when the sun is lower in the sky. So you could let them know that the sun should be shining on the front of the home. So depending on the direction of the home, that is really helpful in getting the best lighting for the house. So if it's an east-facing home, the sun is shining on the front of the home in the morning. And then when they do their interior shots, they're going to want to do those midday, because then the sun is high up in the sky, not shining into the windows harshly. They're going to get a more evenly lit room and not too many shadows or highlights or anything streaming in. And go through the house is the entrance right here. But you as the agent, make sure you're really using those captions and descriptions. So I have mudroom, an extremely useful mudroom with custom built-in bench hangers for backpacks, purses, briefcases, and more. An office space for bills, receipts, allowing your kitchen counters to be free of clutter, as well as a large walk-in pantry and coat closet. So just an experience of how you would walk into this
Taylor?
home if you live there. Yep.
We got a couple quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
First one, going back to the paragraph section, or where you can add a description.
Yeah.
We got a question if somebody wants to know if anybody uses the paragraph box underneath when you do your description. Now I do. because I like to add a little bit more. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether this is going on virtually or not, the descriptions feature is something that is I love, because I can actually go through and you'll see with these photos that I'm pointing out little pieces of the home that could easily be overlooked, or just planting that seed of what it's like to live here. So wouldn't you love to cook a delicious meal here? Beautiful, fully updated kitchen with tons of counter space and soft closed cabinets. So using the description is a way to not make them have to dig through the report, right. You know, and get their attention right off the bat. And kind of what you would be saying to them in person as they're looking at the house, or, oh, this is a really nice, or letting the seller or the buyer agent know all of these things. So I love the descriptions, which is what you're referring to as the paragraphs. The description allows up to 255 characters. Now you can see that I didn't use 255 characters for all of these photos here, but just a little sentence can make all the difference here.
Now, do you label every single picture? Like if you have 50 plus pictures, do you label all of them, or do you label just a few?
I label all of them, because when I was looking for homes, I can tell you how frustrated I was. Because sometimes the houses that I was looking at, they weren't always obvious which one was the master bedroom, you know, and I would see some houses that had a bathroom before it even got to the bedroom. And I'm wondering, okay, is this an upstairs bedroom, or is this the bathroom attached to a master? Am I gonna have a bathroom attached to my master here? So the first thing people click on are the photos. Don't make them have to work even harder. If they're interested from a few photos, then they're gonna dive a little deeper. But you have the caption and the descriptions with the photos to really sell them on what it would be like living here.
And
Awesome.
with the bedrooms and bathrooms, always say what level those are on. Is it a first floor, second floor?
We should probably also introduce our late arrival. The voice you just heard is Dave Dries, our CEO. He was finishing up a call, so we didn't get to introduce you. So the phantom voice that you heard was Dave Dries. Can you say hi, Dave?
Hi, Dave.
Hi, thanks for pointing out I was late.
I tried to say it
nice, wait, is that Chris, or oh, that Dave's on now.
No, Dave and I.
Another thing too that's really nice, Chris, and for everybody who's interested in these description features to use now more than ever, but also moving forward, is I like to call them transitional photos, but also using that in your description of the photos, because like I said, it was really frustrating getting these listing alerts and checking them, and I'm like, all right, where am I at? You jumped around from photo to photo, and I'm not seeing any kind of description that's letting me know where maybe this office is in relation to where I just was in the kitchen all of a sudden. So the order of your photos is really important. This is obviously the agent to do when they get the photos sent over. But making sure the seller knows to take as many photos as possible so that you, the agent, can decide which ones go in, what order, and adding that description, because you seeing the tour is going to help you notice all these features of the home as well. But here's a perfect example. View from the living room, where you can easily see the open kitchen, large breakfast nook dining room. Also pictured is the butler's quarter, which connects to the formal dining room. And here's another view of that, talking about the butler's quarter and why having a butler's quarter is a nice feature. And then now they see that living room view. So having a couple different views of each room is something that I recommend that they take. If they have a higher viewpoint, that's also something that I recommend, and little transitional photos that give them a teaser of something that's to come. So you see this hallway, this space. Now, this is where I tell you this is the home office on the main level near the living room. So just kind of really gives them an idea of this house. And I hope you guys seeing these pictures in this order, you can really get a clear understanding of the layout of this home. Couple
Now,
different angles.
while you're talking about the order, we have a question. Is there a way to select the first, how many ever pictures for other sites, you know, when it's pulled to Zillow and so on? Some of the sites always use the first 3 to 5 photos, which could be multiple exterior shots or entry, and it misses the kitchen and stuff. Is there any way for us to do that?
So one thing that I recommend is not having 3 to 5 exterior photos for one. You want to have maybe 1 to 2 before you get to really the inside of the home. So my recommendation is having that one primary photo where you have a decent amount of sky, the whole front of the home, and some of the grass. I call it breaking it up into thirds. So you have first third sky, middle third house, bottom third grass. Then if there's something that's a really nice selling feature outside that you want to get their attention right off the bat, then have a second photo of that. Then get to the meat and potatoes, because you have about 7 to 10 photos to get somebody's attention to want to tour the rest of the photos in the house. So 30, 40, 50 photos. So you want to really not bombard them with so much of one space before they can kind of get an idea of what the house has to offer. So then your entrance, the living room, a couple angles of the living room or whatever room is closest to the entrance, whether that's the kitchen or the living room. Mix up a close-up if there's a worthy thing in the kitchen that needs a close-up, or the living room. Move on to that next room, and then cover that main level if it's a 2-story. And then when you get to the bedrooms, do a bedroom, and then the bathroom that goes with that bedroom. Bedroom, bathroom that goes with that bedroom. Make your way outside or to the basement, and then outside in the garage and all that. But one thing that I will say is a lot of times the landscaping or the property is a big selling feature to the home. So that's fine to put one of those at the beginning, but also have that as a nice close for them to end on and remember. And as for like Zillow, MiRealSource, when we have our agreement with Zillow, is they take all of the photos. So I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question 100% or not, but there shouldn't be a reason for only 3 to 5 photos to display. Every photo should be sent over for a consumer to look.
I can speak to that. The way this actually works is for everyone, whether it's other syndication sites, whether it's other IDX sites. What we do is we provide the file for the photos, and they have the ability to take all of them. So if there's 99, they have the ability to take all of them. Does that mean that they all take all of them? No, it does not mean that. There are some IDX vendors, some syndication sites that don't take all of them, but we provide them. They're there. They have access to them. If you are utilizing an IDX vendor and you're not happy with the number of photos they're including, then you would have to have your conversation with them. But they're available through us. They can have them if they want them.
All right, Taylor.
Yep.
Another question for you. If you have a property on acreage, should you consider taking more outside photos, like if it has a barn or a pond or things like that?
That's kind of that selling feature where you might want to throw something that's definitely important, that 10 photos to get their attention right at the beginning. Nobody that doesn't want to live on land isn't going to, see that. So they're going to want to see that right off the bat. But save a lot of the land photos and pole barn and all that once you tour the home, so they get that experience of what it would be like walking through the home. But you definitely want to have something that is a selling feature, like living on land or having a barn in one of the shots at the beginning. So here's a few examples of photos, but also using the captions and descriptions. Now this is a big, beautiful home that's staged, of course, nicely decorated, but knowing that you can have that experience of what it's like to walk through the home, and you get a feel for this layout just by the photos and the descriptions. couple different angles of each room. This is a description right here that I think is really helpful, because sometimes you jump around from a photo. Second story laundry, like Dave mentioned, I put that in the label because they saw all those bedrooms and then it jumps right to a laundry room. All right, is this laundry room on the main level? You obviously can tell it's probably not in the basement because of the window, but is it on the main level or is it on the second story? So a desired second story laundry room, making trips from bedroom to laundry room a breeze. No need to lug around hampers up and down stairs. The laundry room also includes a window, storage cabinets, and a sink with a granite countertop. So using your captions and descriptions as the agent is really important. Don't think I can hammer that enough. But I'm going to show you a tour that Colleen did that gives you a really good idea of what your seller could do. So you give them an idea of how many photos you would need. If it's a 5-bedroom home, they know that they're going to need a lot more photos than a 2-bedroom condo. But let them know to take some close-ups, couple different angles, and the time of day to take those interior photos and the time of day to take that exterior primary photo. Then they would want to do a video tour. The video tour, Colleen did as the agent, but let's just, for the sake of this class, pretend that Colleen is the seller. She's not going to be in this video. We would fast forward right to the entrance, and the seller is going to walk through the home. She did a beautiful job walking through the home here. Now, before I show the video, what I recommend doing is the entrance. The seller needs to be coached. You do not want the seller is not the licensed realtor. The seller is the one who is, you know, just panning through the home. They can maybe say this is the dining room and a little something about it, but they are not there to, you know, go into a lot of detail about the property.
Stepping inside here, we have an entrance to the 1.5-car garage. We walk right into the living room. It does have a gas fireplace. And then just off to the left, we have a full first floor bathroom. You notice I did not shoot full front on the toilet. Did you notice that,
Yeah.
Taylor? I learned that from your
Yeah.
class. Everybody knows there's a toilet in there.
You stayed out of the bathroom and shot in, which is a good idea.
Just outside, you have a spacious deck. Right beyond those trees is Lake St. Clair. As you can see, you have no neighbors to the left as it's an end unit. And we've got a nice spacious.
So you can see Colleen here. I'll fast forward a little bit more and play a little more. But what she did is she walked in and she showed the main space first, kind of panned to the left to the room that was closest to her, how you would kind of experience it walking in. You're going to notice that bathroom right at the entrance there. Went to the bathroom, and then she showed the dining room, but she went right to the outside. So you can do stuff like that where you're just kind of the seller is just sort of walking through how they experience it, panning nicely like she did with the exterior, or just really show the house and then kind of do a final walkthrough. But for time's sake, a lot of people ask, how long should this tour be? Now, bigger houses are going to take a little bit more. So what Colleen did here was really good because 3 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for a video. So she really got to the meat and potatoes of what people need to see in this tour, instead of having to circle back around and just show this deck. So it just depends on what
Sitting area.
you think, but
It's very quiet and private.
go in.
Walking back in.
Another view from the house.
A large open kitchen. Does have a lot of natural light. There's another window there. Stainless steel appliances that stay with the property, and a double sink. Let's walk upstairs here.
Hey, Taylor,
Yep.
As you can
we
see
got a
right
couple more. First question is there an app that will do an overhead floor plan layout or a layout plan of the house?
I don't have a recommendation of one that I've used. I know some photographers that do it, but I know there are. Unfortunately, I just don't have a name of one. Do you, Colleen, didn't the seller have one? Or was
Yeah,
that one they already had done?
No, we had a couple people who sent us really great testimonials after the remote and paperless class that we did 2 weeks ago. That seller who did the walkthrough on her holiday listing, she said that she got the floor plan from an app called Mixing It Up. And it was called Mixing It Up Media, I believe it was. And, you know, I mean, there are, once the government order gets lifted, there, you know, you could use, we use True Spaces for Matterport that will do it. It's a little harder not being at the property, so I'm not aware of, other than that Mixing It Up Media, which someone actually told us about, and I have not used it personally yet.
Yeah, I haven't used one personally either, so
Same.
yeah, I can't recommend one from personal use, but there are definitely free apps out there that a seller could create, or you could probably create and have them approved to make sure that it looks like the layout of their home with the right sizes. But no, that's a good question. Was there another one?
Next. Oh yeah, I think we got a couple more now. This one's more for Colleen. How are you holding the phone? It seems like it may need to be wider, or is that how you wanted to film it? They're asking because the brokers for this individual has asked to hold the home a certain way. And then after you're done, I'll elaborate a little too.
Sure. I actually kind of just wanted to do it very basically. I wanted to obviously use this new listing I had for just making it really easy so you could see how I'm literally just holding my phone that way. The other reason I didn't do it landscape wise, sometimes that causes some problems with the rotation of the video. And so I chose to just kind of keep it nice and simple. I just wanted to show how easy it would be to walk through the home, because the average seller may not know how to do that. So it's just kind of doing it very easy, sort of panning through. But yes, you could do it landscape. I ran into a couple issues there, and sometimes where you have to then rotate the video if you're using it, let's say in YouTube, which isn't a hard process, but I was trying to make it just as basic and simple as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely one more step, because your phone recognizes when it is upright, but when you are horizontal, whether this is photos or video, that file could be upside down the whole time and you don't know that, or she pauses it for a minute and then starts it back up and sends you maybe a couple different movie files.
Mm-hmm.
You have some that are right side up, some that are right side up or upside down, and then it's just an extra editing. Another thing that I'll say too about shooting horizontally is you or the seller are going to be panning the room the whole time, slowly, like Colleen was. So you're getting to see the space, and it's nice to be able to see kind of, you know, the ceiling and the floor, and it's not cropped, cut out, just so that you get a little bit more on each side, because you're going to be panning either way.
Now, depending on the home, I bought a special lens off of Amazon for myself that kind of widens the shot so I can still hold the phone up and down. And then when we get back to being able to be in the house, I've got some friends in the office that bought, it's called a Smove, S-M-O-V-E, and it really, really takes away the walking effect. It's a really cool tool.
Yeah, there are some, I haven't heard of the Smooth before, but some, you know, balancing for your phone so that it doesn't have that shake, like a gimbal for the smartphones that you can use, that will give it that really seamless look and feel. All these things are just suggestions of what you can do in terms of coaching your seller, moving forward with your own photos as well. But I've always done everything vertically. in terms of videos, because when I just do, you know, personal videos or anything, if I do them horizontally, they're always upside down, or they're cropped funny. So just back to that, I think vertical is probably going to be your best full frame look.
Absolutely.
And sometimes those additions, I will say, I don't know if you've had any luck or not, Chris, with yours, but sometimes those add-ons, especially for the phones and even for cameras too, where they're like filters, or they can really stretch the photo. Panorama, I recommend if you want to do panoramic photos in the phone, if they want to do that, that's fine, but don't do only panoramic shots. They want to have a couple to kind of conclude all of the photos. That's always okay as well. But we had somebody in last week's class say that all of their sellers' photos were shot panoramic. Is there any way that I can edit them, because they're all stretched out and don't look right?
I've heard that a lot.
Right. Well, in a condo, that panoramic lens, because it's a clip-on lens, it actually makes it look smaller. But in the larger houses, it seems to work pretty well.
Shows the space a little more.
Yeah. We've got two more. Are there any issues to be concerned about if the agent does the voiceover once they get the video from the seller?
Yeah, that's where it boils down to coaching that seller right off the bat, coaching them on how to transfer the photos to you, as well as what they would need to take pictures of and how many ideally, as well as when they do the tour. I think our strong recommendation is just to not have them talk at all, or just narrate the room that they're in, and that's it.
All right. What's the easiest way to cut and splice videos?
The easiest way is, well, it depends on what you use. So Colleen, what do you use on your PC?
There's a couple free ones that you can use. I have used everything from Camtasia, which is, a product that you can buy. I am a huge Camtasia fan for splicing. Really, I don't want to have to do a whole lot of splicing to a video. I want to, you can use there's some editing features right through your phone software. My iPhone has some, basic editing tools. Even YouTube has some upgraded editing tools that you can use too. So it depends on how you get the video, what you're using, and how elaborate you want to be. That's kind of a hard question.
So we want this to be as easy peasy as you possibly can. So like if they were to send you a couple different videos, there's ways that you can splice them together in Camtasia, but ideally you just want them to do one big video, and then you can edit that video and remove clips right from your phone. Now, if you are really into doing videos in production, that's where I don't know where everybody's expertise is. The iMovie is I use it all the time for a lot of our videos. Very easy, user friendly, comes with the Macs. So in terms of Macs, that's what I use, as well as Camtasia, as Colleen recommended. But for basic walking through tours, a lot of it, just have them send that full video to you, and if you need to edit, you can edit right in your phone. Open up that file, hit the edit button, you can slim out 30 seconds if you need to, and save that new file in your phone without having to upload it to a computer, pay for editing software, video editing software, and learn how to use all of that.
Okay, the previous question, I think, might have also been asking about the agent doing a voiceover on the video that they got from the seller. The concern there is you just got to make sure that you don't add anything in your voiceover that turns it into a branded video. So your name, your contact information, you need to leave all that off. If you're saying something just like, this bedroom is on the second floor, that's okay. You're giving facts. If you're just giving facts, that's okay, but you can't give your name or your contact information. That would turn it into a branded video.
And that's where Camtasia is really nice if you are going to do the voiceover. So if you want to take it to that next step, Camtasia is nice for adding that video in, and you can add annotations, and you can add a voiceover and things like that. Dave mentioned branded and unbranded links. So this tour that I showed you guys says unbranded tour. What you can do in Paragon is actually add this tour link to your listing. So there's a virtual tour and a video tour. You'll see that there's branded. For all of everything that's going on right now, it's most important to do the unbranded so that it gets out there. It's on Collaboration Center, it's on HomeSnap, it's on the single property websites, it's sent out to all of our syndications, or they can see this link, IDX. So the tour is a just virtual tour, video tour. It doesn't matter which one you put it in. We just labeled them differently, just depending on what kind of video somebody does. Now, we've had a traditional virtual tour that's branded and one that's unbranded, and we've had people do aerial video with a branded version and an unbranded version, or a Matterport walkthrough camera, branded, unbranded. So we give you 4 placeholders, which is really nice, to add different kinds of promo videos for your property. So the tour that your seller creates and you add into YouTube, which Colleen is going to show here, I think in just a moment, you then can put this into these tours here. And then they go out to the single property website and Collaboration Center. I don't want to step on your toes, Colleen, if that's something that you're going to be showing. Yep.
That's all right. I have the single property website up here. Why don't can I switch presenters with you real quick? Yep. And then I have that one up and I can run with it.
I jumped ahead a little bit before I got to my checklist, but
Taylor, it was absolutely fantastic. So don't worry, you never step on my toes. And you showed about 8 of my things, so it's good because I'm pretty talked out this week. So. So this is the single property website that Taylor was referencing. And by adding in those links, as she mentioned, it's putting your virtual tour and video tour right up here. Remember, I'm still seeing a lot of agents who are sharing from places like Zillow or sharing from other sites like that. The problem with that is you're working so hard, you're putting all of your comments, your photos, all of your hard work, and the problem is you've now just given the agent who bought the zip code all of that lead, because now when they're seeing your information, they're seeing that smiling, glowing agent. Remember, when you're sharing the single property website, it is only sharing you and your other listings and your other sold properties. So it's all about you. And when you're sharing this information, even if it's reshared, all of this information brings them back to you as the agent. As Taylor mentioned, the single property website right now, if you're putting in an unbranded tour, meaning the video or virtual tour, that's what will appear here. Down the road, though, remember that if I just went and I shot my virtual tour, I walked through the property and I have my branding when the government order is lifted, you can put your own information in. I can say, hi, I'm Colleen, I'm with ABC Realty, and I can do a branded tour. Now, obviously, you can't do that right now because of the government order. But you can actually put your own, you can put your sign in the background. You can do that once the government order gets lifted. But right now you're going to have your unbranded tour here. So feel free to promote your property with that single property website.
And the way this works, the way the single property website works is if you have something in all 4 of those places, you have all 4 of the different videos, it will look first to the branded ones and it'll use the branded ones in those 2 spots first. If there's nothing in the branded ones, then it will default and go back to the unbranded ones so that there is at least a video there. So that's how it works.
So that's why we recommend, since it's your seller doing it, you would want to put them in the unbranded fields. We did have a remark saying Apple Clips on the iPhone is a social media app that has the ability to add images in a square, and you can add graphics, and there's royalty-free music you can use. So it's great for Facebook and Instagram.
And
Andrew recommended that. So that might be a really good app to download for those who just kind of want to keep it easy in your phone to edit some of the videos, or you want to add some music. So thank you, Andrew, for that suggestion.
And Angie, I have actually used that app, and it is really good and really simple.
Okay, we do have a question. Should we not use branded video? No. We want you to use branded video later when you can go to the house and do it. You can't do it today because of the governor's order. Later, when you can do it, though, you can do it and put it in the branded tour spot. You just got to be careful that you put it in the right spot. If you put it in the right spot, then on the single property website, it will take advantage of the fact that you have a branded video, and it will be something when you share it on Facebook, you're sharing it to everybody with your branded video tour there. So yes, you want to do it. You just got to make sure you put it in the right spot.
Good
Awesome.
question.
So the next thing is we still want to be able to have virtual property showings, okay? And this is something kind of new. We talked about it a little bit this morning in our Mixing It Up with MiRealSource. What you can see is I've gone into my listing within showing time, and I want to make certain times where I'm going to be available as the listing agent to answer questions that other buy-side agents are going to have about the property. So what I've done is I've gone into showing time, and I've basically blocked out all of the times, because obviously I don't want anyone walking in my listing right now. They can't with the government's order, right? Nobody's showing properties. So, but I've blocked off some time where I'm scheduling a Zoom call where I now can answer questions for buyers agents. They can even invite their buyer if they'd like. And so you can go into your listing and you can basically take that time and you can set it aside. So if I go into my listings, let me kind of show you how I did this. You want to take out your lockbox code and you want to change it to a go and show. Okay, so what I've done is I've made my property a go and show, and I'm going to go down to where I would normally put in my access information, where I'd put in my lockbox, and I'm going to change it from where the lockbox goes to my virtual property showing. Okay, so I'm going to just change this to say virtual showing. Down below, I want to immediately, as soon as they request a showing for that time, I want it to send the Zoom information for my Zoom call. So I've actually got one right here just for the sake of time. I thought it would be easier to set it up ahead here. So I've grabbed my Zoom call information, do a quick copy and paste here, and I'm going to paste it into my notes for the showing agent. Okay, so immediately when they request a showing, it's going to send them the Zoom link so that they can be connected to me. And I'm actually going to show you one that just recently happened. Lisa Harris, who is back on the call with us, she was kind enough to let us tag along. She was talking to another agent about a property, and I actually filmed it so you can actually see how they're going through the house. Lisa had the seller supply some video of the home, and then she's talking to the buyer's agent about it. So what you would do is you'd put your Zoom call in here, you'd go up and save your changes, and when that appointment is requested, it's now going to deliver that Zoom phone call information. And I'm going to jump up here to YouTube, and I'm going to kind of show you, and again, let me set this up. Lisa was talking to the buyer's agent. The buyer was invited to the call. The buyer wanted to see more information about the property. And so I'm going to take you on this little tour so you can kind of see how it all unfolded. I was able to record it. And again, this is kind of the showing instructions. This is going to be on our YouTube channel as well as our recorded video. So you'll be able to actually see this again. So don't worry if I'm going kind of fast. I will blow this up though so you can kind of see how their call went.
Hi, thanks for taking some time with me to take a virtual tour of my client's home. She had a beautiful colonial with an attached garage. She took a video virtual tour for us. So I'm going to take you a walk through. And if you have any questions, I'll just let me know. So I'll walk through our front door, newer built home. You will notice we've got newer windows as you walk through, keyless entry. To the left, we have a nice formal dining room, also newer windows, also newer flooring, freshly painted. Got a nice open foyer. And if you look to the right, I've got a living room with also newer flooring, newer windows.
It looks like the whole house has been updated. Do you know the date of any of the updates at all?
Yes, I do. Actually, everything has been updated within the last couple of years. Windows were about 5 years ago.
So for the sake of time, I'm going to kind of speed you through here, just going through there. So they're going to go through the hallway, they're going through the kitchen, just like, and all they're doing is going through that tour that the seller had provided. However, there's another thing I would recommend. When you're doing these Zoom calls, have the HomeSnap app open. And Lisa did a great job with this. So I'm going to kind of jump, I'm going to move forward in the video just so you can see it. Lisa had HomeSnap open, so she was able to have the property disclosures there. She was able to have the street view. So literally, Lisa was sitting on her couch at home, and she was touring the neighborhood with the buyer and the buyer's agent. So let me, I'll show you exactly. It sounds more complicated, but here it is.
More information, HomeSnap, photos. I've got my documents on HomeSnap. I can also take you through a walk on the street view. So let's take a look at the documents first. And here's both the documents. And I can send these over to you. You can also access them yourself on HomeSnap. So seller's disclosure and everything is there for you. If there's any questions at all, please let me know. And let's take a look at the street view. We can actually take a look at the house itself and kind of walk through without actually, being outside.
So remember, Lisa's doing this from her couch. She's literally just moving her phone, and she's able to walk down the street and show them. Now, if you've never hosted a Zoom call before, super easy. Zoom has a free, you can actually download it for free. If you have the free version, it's a little bit more limited, meaning you only get 40 minutes. So you would want to go ahead and keep your time lot to about 30 minutes in case you have a couple questions you don't want it to go over. Zoom kind of looks like this. Let me open it up for you. Very easy to schedule. It's a very easy interface. Hold on. And I'm going to go right up to schedule a meeting. I'm going to pick the date and time and hit schedule, how long I want it to be, and that's how you're coming up with your Zoom phone number. So it's very, very simple. Once you have the app on your phone, you can share other apps like you just saw Lisa sharing HomeSnap. There's a whole lot that you can do with that. So I think with that, so now you're promoting it, you're talking to other agents about the property, you've gotten that seller to provide you the photos and the video, as Taylor mentioned. Don't forget, the most important thing legally here is we want to make sure that you're getting the copyright forms. So remember, in Instanet or under MLS documents, you've got that copyright form that gives you the permission to use those forms in your advertising. It's a very straightforward one-page form. It can be sent with your listing agreements to your seller, and they can even be signed right through AuthentiSign. So make sure you're adding that in. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Taylor, to talk about virtual tours. Does that work?
Hey, ladies, we have a couple questions again.
Okay.
The very first one is, when all this is all over and we can do face-to-face showings again, will we still be able to offer virtual showings? Possibly offer a choice of virtual or face-to-face?
Absolutely. And, I know everybody's saying, well, May 1, life is going to go back to normal. Well, I have to tell you, I think sellers are still going to be a little bit hesitant about having a lot of people trouncing through their house right away. These are going to be things that you can do. As a matter of fact, in New York, we've been watching them do these types of things for a while. They've been doing these virtual property tours, and, they're very interesting to see. So I don't think that, unfortunately, this is going to be over like a light switch. It's not going to flip off and on quite that easy. These are things that are still going to be offered to you. You're still going to be able to utilize. Taylor's going to show you something that just came out today. I mean, literally, they just turned it on today. And so these are going to be great tools that you can use now and into the future.
Yeah, both
Okay.
of the things I'm going to show, I think, will definitely be valuable once this is lifted and life goes back to normal, even though it'll probably take a while. But just more eyeballs on the property, more leads. In general, it's just might be something cool to adopt in your workflow.
And I think,
I would
yes,
recommend everybody get used to doing virtual showings and virtual open houses, because the discussions that I'm hearing is that even if they lift the order, whatever replaces it will probably still have restrictions, and some of the restrictions they're discussing are going to mean that probably virtual open houses and virtual showings will still be in place. So I think it's a good idea to get used to them. And yes, they will remain available in showing time, and they'll remain available in Paragon to have either or.
the next one, I think Taylor might be going over this shortly. How can you advertise that you are offering these times for the Zoom meetings?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Okay,
That's
that'll
a
be
good
coming up.
lead into, that's a good lead into Taylor. Taylor, you want to take it from here?
Yep, absolutely. So just to go back to the photos real quick and the tours, let me take over because there's one thing I just wanted to I mentioned it, but I just want to show you guys before we go into virtual open houses. This checklist that you have attached, as well as the step-by-step directions I'm going to go over with virtual open houses. Don't forget to download these. This is something great for you guys to use. This is something that I cover and provide in my photos class. So if you've taken my photos class, you've maybe seen this already. If not, this is something to implement moving forward, as well as to send to your sellers, so that just little things that are not always common sense in terms of taking pictures to make sure they're photo ready. They're living in this home. They probably got kids that are running around trying to keep the house clean, and they want to take pictures. So this checklist is really good to just follow before they take the photos, or before you come and take their photos back in normal land. So go ahead and use this. I don't want to go over it all, but as you can see, there's just some kind of more unique examples of things that help the photos look more photo ready, like removing the mail and magnets from the fridge, the hanging towels from the stove, making sure that the fireplace is turned on, opening the blinds and the drapes. The sun is coming in. One little trick that I've done is I've had the blinds turned upright, so that the light is shining up at the ceiling and kind of casts down. So in here, there's just, besides having the house clean, there's just a few things that will help them get the best look to the photos before they take them and send them over. And just some little suggestions as well, like having their patio sets. Right now, everybody's patio sets might not be put together. Some things are leaned against the house, stuff like that, that will definitely make those photos a lot better. And right now, with everything being virtual, you want to have great photos, great descriptions, a nice tour, and use the virtual open house resources that are available for you. So I will be going over that right now. Were there any questions, Chris, before I move on to that?
We had one going back a little bit. I think they're talking about the Apple app, the Apple Clips.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanted to know if it's similar to iMovie, I think.
I haven't used it, and I don't think Colleen's used iMovie before.
It is different. It is different. It's not the same thing. It's got some similar features, but iMovie is much more advanced. Apple Clips is, just an app for your phone, a lot of little splicing. It's not quite as detailed.
They're both Apple products, so they're probably, the interface might be a little similar, and labeling and all that. So if you've used iMovie before, I'm sure Apple Clips is probably very natural to use. But yeah, I haven't used that, and I don't think you've really used much of iMovie before.
I tried iMovie because I know you used it a lot. I tried it and it was a little intimidating to me. I'm going to be totally honest. I had to stick with Camtasia because you were kind enough to help me with that. The Clips was much easier. It's really just more of an app style. It's not so hard. It's a little more basic, and for someone like me, a blonde, I need to totally go that way. So.
Okay, we did have.
Andrew is the one that suggested it, and he said, no, you don't have to do all the cuttings and transitions. Like you don't have as many options like you do in iMovie.
Right, correct.
Okay, so for virtual open houses, Colleen showed you a great way to do those virtual open houses. And now in Paragon, we have the option to actually schedule a virtual open house. So I'm going to pull up a property as if I was going to schedule one, and we actually already do have one scheduled for you guys too. Pull this up. Right here is where you can add and edit an open house. When you hit add new, it's automatically checked. Traditional open house right now is not an option in the system, but it's a live stream. So that Zoom stream that Colleen would schedule in Zoom, she can put that URL right here, choose the date and the time. Now, one thing to note, if you're doing the free account, I don't think you mentioned this, Colleen, sometimes these classes overlap, but the free account only allows for 40 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if you're gonna do the free account, make sure that you set yourself up for success and only have a open house for 30 minutes. If not, there's different plans that you can do from $14.99 up to $20 a month for unlimited time and unlimited amount of people on the open house. So when you add the live stream URL, the Zoom that Colleen would have had scheduled for that example that she showed, make sure you add in the comments something here, because it's a little slim what you see. So what we recommend saying is this is going to be a live stream call for a virtual open house, and then add that URL. And this is important because once you've added this, you can see what Colleen did here, one that we've already scheduled. It'll let me open it. She put the URL. She also put the URL here. So it's up to you. A nice sentence explaining it is always good, but she just put the URL in two places. And when you see the open house quick action link, it'll open that up, and this is what they're going to see. So they'll see live stream, yes, but you want to make sure that you add that URL in the comments too, because it could be easily overlooked. They might click on yes, it'll open Zoom for them, but they also can copy and paste this URL if they wanted to. So just making it easier on everybody all around. Make sure you do this. As Colleen mentioned, this new feature of virtual open houses in Paragon was just released, I think, last night. So moving forward, this is something that you want to do for your open houses when you do the Zooms, and share your screen to HomeSnap and all the things that Colleen had recorded and showed you guys. Do you have any questions before I go on to Facebook?
We had a
Yeah, we've
question.
got a few. Dave's good with this one. Do we need to be concerned with the Zoom bombing and pornographic images, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, there's Zoom has a waiting room, and you can keep them in the waiting room and then move them in. And remember, you're doing this through the Paragon system. You're not putting this out to the public. So the only people that are going to see this are people that have access through Paragon. So this is being promoted through Paragon, which means only people that have access to Paragon have it. And that ties into a previous question, which was, as a buyer's agent, do we just Zoom with our buyer? No, the ones that we're showing you here that Colleen showed and Taylor showed is where the listing agent is the one that is hosting the live stream, whether it's a live stream virtual showing or a live stream virtual open house. They're both being hosted by the listing agent. Now, if you as the buyer's agent wanted to do a Zoom meeting with your buyer and just share your screen, you share your screen through Zoom to show them the video that's available within Paragon and the photos with the labels and descriptions, you can do that, but that's something different than what they were showing you here, which is where the listing agent would host either the virtual showing or the virtual open house.
Yeah, that Colleen was walking through the house as if she was the seller. Lisa was narrating as if she was the seller's agent. And then the gentleman talking was somebody watching the open house. So Colleen walking through the house, she wasn't talking. That wasn't Colleen's voice. That was Lisa's voice you were hearing. And she was also on the Zoom scheduled call. Colleen joined, walked through the home, and then the man's voice that you heard, he was somebody participating and watching the stream.
So I think actually, just to be clear, that Lisa was the listing agent. She was going over the footage that had been sent by the seller. The buyer's agent was the one requesting the appointment. And I suppose if the buyer's agent really wanted to invite the buyer to the call in case they had questions, that could be done. That buyer's agent could share that link to his buyer in case the buyer had a question or wanted to see more detail. Generally, I think it would just be done between the buyer's agent and the listing agent. We're still seeing a lot of contracts that are coming in. These PAs are being written. I just got I just got one 10 days ago, and it was subject to the governor's order being lifted, that the offer was subject to the buyer walking through the home within 7 days of the governor's order being lifted. So, buyers have been waiting a long time. It's been a very low amount of inventory. And I think when these buyers are seeing a good home, they still want to jump on it. They just want to be able to have the option, if they walk through and don't like it, that they have a time frame to do that walkthrough. So we're seeing a lot of offers being written like that.
Yeah, we got another question. It says, so do we do the open house with a recorded video or the seller walking around live? My recommendation would be to just simply use the recorded video and the photos, and you're sharing that on your Zoom call that you're hosting as a listing agent. You're sharing that so that people can see it. But when you're sharing it and you're hosting it, you are there live to comment about it while you're sitting on the couch at your home. So nobody is at the house. Nobody is at the listed house. Nobody. Everybody is doing this virtually. Everybody is using this hosted virtual live streaming event. Nobody is driven to be at the home. The seller is not at the home. I don't think I would, if I was the one being the listing agent, I don't think I want my seller participating live. I would rather have my seller provide the video and the photos, and then I would, as the listing agent, I would host the live streaming event with the buyer's agent and the buyer.
I agree, because you just never know. Somebody could say just one wrong thing and it could go, a weird way. I would personally not want my seller to be present. I would rather, have it just the listing agent and the buying agent having a conversation, or the listing agent, buyer's agent, and buyer. I think it would be easier to have the seller send the tour ahead.
Yeah, and they can record it in Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just so everybody knows, they can record it. So another option that you have for virtual open houses, aside from doing the Zoom link and putting it into Paragon, you can actually schedule a virtual open house on Facebook. Really easy. One thing that I recommend is doing it on your business page. So if you have a business page, you can toggle to your business page up here in the right corner. You can create an event. For just this example, I did it on my personal page. So that little more section right here, I went to events. Mine has already passed, so it's in my past events. But you can easily create a new event. I recommend adding a photo of the primary photo of the home that you're going to be doing the Facebook event virtual open house, labeling it a virtual open house hosted by the address, a little description, a date and time. There's also a schedule option and a co-host option. So let me pull up my open house just to go over all that with you. So that's where you were just seeing right here, everything that I could do. So I added my title of the open house. Now, I did this under my personal page just for this class, but if I were to do this, I would do it under my business page, like I mentioned, because I can then reshare it from my business page to my personal page. So I'm hitting two audiences there, as well as business events you can boost. So it's going to be a little bit more beneficial for you to do it on your business page if you choose. The address of the property, and then a little description. Your description is important because people aren't used to virtual open houses. So let them know what this is, what's going on. So I said, did you know you can still tour new listings virtually as they hit the market, but now in the comfort of your own home? Join us for a live virtual open house because we are excited to share with you this beautiful 4-bedroom craftsman style home right in the heart of Romeo, Michigan. Gorgeous landscaping and brand new interior. So I scheduled the time. I added a schedule as well. So at 10 a.m., I had a welcome and an intro to the open house. And what I do is I went live on Facebook. That was my welcome. That was my intro. I talked about the property a little bit, just right from my phone. I opened up my Facebook app and went to my event and then went live on my phone. I'll show you guys that in just a moment. Then I have a live walkthrough, which I'll talk about what you could do there, your options. Once that is concluded, then I have a discussion and a Q&A. So from here, I also made Colleen, who is my seller, a co-host. This is an option. We're not telling you that this is what you have to do. You have to decide what you're comfortable with, what your seller is comfortable with technically, and that coaching process of what they would say and what they're allowed to do. So for me, I would create this event, and then I would invite my friends to it. I can invite people on my page to it. And then throughout the couple days before my scheduled open house, I'm going to just promote a little bit. Okay, get that dialogue going. You can create polls. So do you have any questions about how to purchase a home right now? So as you get people that are interested in attending, you'll see yes, no, you'll see who responded. You can write comments down here answering people's questions or letting them know there'll be more details during the open house. Post some teaser photos of the house, you can as well. And just letting them know that it's coming up this Saturday. Another poll I did here. So once it was 10 a.m., I'm gonna go live. What I recommend is having it open on your, having Facebook open on your computer like I have right here. And then anything that I'd need, I can open up my phone, go live on my phone, welcome everybody, tell them what this whole thing is about. You're going to be joining me. And then from here, you have an option of what you want to do. Now, going live on Facebook has its own little benefits because everybody gets a notification that you're live. So you're going to get more people that see that. You can do the Zoom link and add that. You can just simply share a video if that's what you're comfortable with, and then go live again after you've had people watch the video and submit your questions, and you can answer those questions live. Or, like I said, you could have a co-host, and that's what I did here is I made Colleen my co-host, and Colleen would be my seller. I would go live at 10 a.m. Welcome everybody, explain to it. Then I would let Colleen go live because she's also a host on this event. Do the walkthrough, not talking, coaching her about what she can say if she is going to talk. And then she closes out 10:15. I go on live and I have that Q&A. Hold your questions and your discussions for after the walkthrough. And then we're gonna, talk this out, talk about the property here after. So you have lots of different options here in terms of Paragon's live stream. You can do that here on Facebook, and you can do just a live Facebook instead of doing Zoom, or you can just do only a video. You have lots of different options based on how technical your sellers are and what you're comfortable with collaborating them and involving them in.
Okay, we had a question that said, so this is back to the seller providing a video. So if the seller provides a video, it appears that you uploaded it to YouTube. So yes, before you can put the link into those 4 spots in Paragon that they showed you, it does have to be hosted somewhere. And I think Colleen showed, did you already show how you put it into YouTube? I think you did, didn't you?
I think she had it open really quickly, just mentioned it, but it wasn't like a step by step.
Okay.
If I remember.
Do we have a cheat sheet on how to put it into YouTube?
I didn't create one. Colleen, do you have one? She might be muted.
Maybe.
Oop, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm
Did
sorry.
we have cheat
actually,
sheet on how to do YouTube?
We do not. We do not have a cheat sheet prepared, but if I can steal the controls back, I will show you how really easy that is. I am stealing them back from you for 1 second, Taylor. So here is my YouTube channel, and I have to be honest, I was a little nervous about doing this. I hadn't done it before, but it was so easy. You can set up a free YouTube account. It just asks for my first name, last name, email address, just basic information. And then as soon as you do that, you have a little button that says create a video. And I clicked upload video. I was thinking it was going to be like this whole scary process to do, but it was actually really, really simple. I'm going to walk you through the whole steps right here. It's a drag and drop, or if you just wanted to select a file from your computer, you could go ahead and do that. I'll just do that for the sake of time. I went to, we'll go to desktop, and I think I called it. I'm going to grab this video file, and I can go ahead and pull in that video file format. Ooh, let me use Joe's mama here. I actually grabbed a couple videos to use for demonstration. We'll do this one here. Joe, if you're on the call, I made this one for your mom. Or he was here earlier. We called it Joe's mama because it was Joe's mom. So I've now uploaded that video file. And again, this would be like a file that the homeowner was literally walking through with their phone. You can see this is what the link is going to be. It's starting to process that file, and it's actually 3 simple steps. So you're going to give it a name. That's your first step. You're going to hit next. And the next step is really just asking you, are you doing this for children? Do you want this on the kids' YouTube, or do you want to do this on your adult YouTube? So I'm going to say, no, it's not made for kids. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. If I want to add some elements to it, like an end screen, if I want it to end on a certain screen, I can do that here. But it's really that simple. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And then the last step is just deciding, do I want to make it private, or do I want to make it public? I'm going to say public and publish. That's it. Now that link, it starts rendering that video, and it gives you the link. So it was that easy. I literally just created one, a real life one, on my YouTube page.
And Andrew, thank you for the reminder. You can use hashtags to help promote as well. And that's on a lot of the social media platforms also. And then we have one more question on confusion. Somebody was confused. How did you do the live walkthrough again if you are not physically there?
Can I give an example? Maybe an example might help. So The part that's live is it's an event. It's a Zoom conference call, for example. It's a live event at a time certain.
Scheduled time.
In real time. It's in real time where whoever is hosting that conference call is on there live, and they have through the conference software the ability to share stuff on their screen. And think, for example, like they had gone on a trip to Alaska and they had taken photos and videos and they wanted to share it with, say, their buyer. I had a really nice time when I was in Alaska. They're not in Alaska, but during the conference call, during the live virtual conference call, they're going to show them the videos by sharing their screen. They're going to show them the videos that they took when they were in Alaska and the photos they took. The only difference is this is video and photos that the seller took and gave to the listing agent. And they're going to share the video and share the photos that the seller took by sharing them on their screen in the video conferencing software that is being held live. And that's why it's live, because it's hosted in live time by a host who is.
She was wanting a little more
Okay.
clarification on Facebook going live. So,
Oh,
Yeah, Facebook Live.
yeah. But no, I think that's good because there might still be some confusion with Zoom for people too, and what that means and what's really live and what's really a video playing. But for Facebook, you have all those different options in terms of putting, creating the event and putting the scheduled Zoom up so that people can join and you can promote if you want. Another thing is you can simply go live by clicking the live button at that time of the event. You, the agent, can be talking to your phone or talking to your webcam, welcoming everybody. The walkthrough can be the recording from a Zoom. It could be a recording of a tour, or it could be your seller who is a co-host on the event going live now on the event and doing a walkthrough of the home, telling them to save their questions for the end of the walkthrough. Then once that live is complete, you, the agent, still at your home, can go live and talk and ask questions. So there's a lot of different options here. It's just what you're comfortable with your seller doing, and coaching your seller if they are going to collaborate with you on the event is like the one thing that we have to hammer, because they are live going through the home on Facebook. Now, if you were to use a recorded Zoom and they join the Zoom link that you're hosting, similar to what Colleen had, they can watch that recording and you're still hosting it. It's going to take them out of Facebook and they're going to go into Zoom and watch it. So you have that option. You have Facebook collaboration with your seller, or you just have you going live and sharing a video.
And don't be afraid to, like I showed you in the video demonstration that we did, if you are going live and you're using Zoom, you can, as you can see, I'm actually sharing Home Snap in the same way you would share it on Zoom. There's a button that says share my screen, just like I'm sharing my screen in front of you, and you can actually use those tools. So if you're a little nervous because you're going to host something live and you don't want to have to bounce all over, remember your tour will be in HomeSnap. So your map, your tour, your photos, everything is all in one place. So don't be afraid to have HomeSnap open in your Zoom call, especially if you're doing it on your phone, so that you can actually go through those photos. You can go through those tours, and it's all in one place. It really makes it very easy and convenient to host those questions when everything's right in front of you.
And you being live, I think maybe that's where people are like, well, why there's a question, just how's this different than just watching a tour? It's because you, the agent, you're live, you're promoting, you're engaging, you're answering questions. A lot of people, just like us, like we're all uncertain what this means, what the steps are. So you are there to talk about the property and talk about questions that they may have about the property or what to do next, or they're interested in what is happening in the industry. So that's where it's different than them just watching a tour. Even though if it is a recording on Zoom of an open house or of the walkthrough of the home, your open house is you hosting it and talking to them. And it's scheduled on Facebook or scheduled in Paragon, which is really nice because then you can promote it to different audiences there.
All right, I know we ran way over. Do we have any other questions? Anything in our questions box that we didn't answer?
I'm trying to, we have, so you went live, but then how are you getting your video up to the live event? I'm thinking this is for Facebook. How do you bring your live, your video that you have into the Facebook Live?
Okay, so you're going live on, if that's a question. That's why I was saying I have my computer open and my phone. So when I'm talking on my phone live, I have my video. I can be managing my Facebook page from my computer. Or you can just have it posted and then go live and talk to people live on their Facebook.
And I think we pretty much answered everything else, unless somebody has any other questions they want to shoot through real quick.
Well, I want to encourage you as you start doing this, if you have any questions, if you say, you know, oh, geez, how do I get it in YouTube? Oh, geez, where do I put it again? Remember, you have tech support that's available. They are still assisting with all questions 7 days a week. They're available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We are doing all of our classes via webinar, so it's a great time if you've not taken the remote agent class showing you how to do an entire transaction from beginning to end. Now is a really good time to do that. And we also like hearing your success stories too. So if something's working for you, let's say you do your first virtual open house, or you had a seller do a walkthrough and you're really proud of it, please feel free to share those things with us. We've had some great testimonials over the last week, just talking about, I tried this and it worked and it was even easier than I thought. And so we'd love to hear your success stories. We'd love to hear, you know, if you do have questions, we'd love to hear from you. We know it's a little tough for working remotely, but it can be done. It's just changing the way we think of doing it.
Yep. And to make this more interesting on you guys, obviously applying this is the best way to learn. You can rewatch this video, this class. You have the handout, a couple of the handouts about virtual open houses and everything to follow, but we are doing a challenge. So
Yes.
the first two, do you want me to share the screen, Colleen?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please, go right ahead.
So the first two people to invite me or Colleen to your scheduled live stream open house will win a $30 gift card to Amazon. So to do that, if you have a live stream open house that you want to try with one of your sellers, go ahead and open up that listing. Under listing, maintain your listing, add an open house. I showed you guys this, and add that live stream, schedule it out, and then you can invite Colleen and I to this live stream. And the first two people that we get an invite from to participate in one of your live streams, you will win a $30 gift card. So fun challenge for you guys if you're interested. It'll get your skill set up there and let us see how this is working for our members, and you can win some money. Do you want to chime in at all, Dave, on that? It was your idea.
That sounds like a lot of fun. The best thing is to practice with
And
real
even if you
listings.
do not have somebody right now and you just want to practice with your own home, that's something to do, obviously for scheduling purposes and all that. But you know, just getting familiar with Zoom and Facebook Live, and you can have a private event and just invite your spouse or something, and you can practice going live and practice creating a Zoom event and sharing that screen with somebody. So that is, you know, you can watch other people do it all day long, but until you try it yourself, that's really when I think it's gonna click and help make sense of everything. So we look forward to getting some invites for you guys, and thank you all so much for attending. I know we ran over, but we had so many good questions and so much content to cover. We just want to make sure everybody is informed and as educated as we can possibly get you out there. So if you have any further questions, go ahead and send us an email, and we look forward to being invited to your guys' open houses.
Happy selling. Stay home, stay safe.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you all. Great questions.
Yeah, really good questions. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.